Next up, so we just had Kieran from Snowflake Data Platform. Next up, we've got Mohsen Malik from AWS, Amazon Web Services. So let me give you this. Say a couple nice words about Mohsen. He leads the business development team focused on new initiatives for AWS, which you're going to give us a sneak peek maybe at the end of new initiatives, maybe?
Maybe a little bit.
Maybe we'll make sure we get everyone to sign an NDA before he can tell you. But previously, and what he's going to talk about today is the ADX platform, so the Amazon Data Exchange. So I do have a quick question for you, Mohsen, before I leave. What do you call two monkeys who share an Amazon subscription?
Oof.
Anybody? Primates? No?
Yeah.
No? Okay, I've got one more. No, I don't. Mohsen, it's all you.
Thank you. Thanks everyone for the time today. So just a quick background on AWS. We're obviously a cloud computing platform. We build solutions across storage, compute, analytics, data lakes, data warehouses. And we are also actively investing in building new services for our customers based on their needs. That includes emerging technologies like artificial intelligence and machine learning. And we always try to work backwards from our customers. And over the years, we've heard continued feedback that across enterprises, customers are investing more and more in external data sources. They want to be able to search and discover data, ingest that data, and use it in the cloud, but they spend lots of engineering cycles today doing all three activities. They're going out and having bespoke negotiations with different vendors. They're going out and standing up custom implementations with tech teams to ingest data, and all of this is incredibly inefficient, and they just want that data natively delivered in the cloud, and it's a testament to the Snowflake data marketplace as well as how prevalent of a problem this is for customers. And so that's why we built AWS Data Exchange, to make that easier for customers to search, discover, and access data in the cloud. And in reverse, for data providers, let us do the plumbing, we call it, of piping data from point A to point B to your end customers, where you can free up those engineering resources and build greater data products versus having to build delivery pipes. And so we launched Data Exchange in November of 2019. We turned the corner into 2020, and all of our customers are immediately impacted, as the world is, by COVID. But what COVID showed was how important fast, easy, seamless access to external data is for customers to power new outcomes based on new realities that they were operating under. And so since then, we've grown quite a bit. We originally had about 100 data providers in our catalog, servicing across 1,000 data products. Today, we have over 300 data providers across every sector: financial services, healthcare, life sciences, retail, you name it. And we've evolved the way that we deliver data to our customers based on their feedback. So initially, you could only access data by exporting files into the AWS cloud, but now you can query tables and you can call APIs. And so now data providers have more mechanisms to make their data available to their end customers, and data consumers can consume that data based on their preference. And so I realize I didn't even skip ahead on any slides yet. Okay. And so today's topic of discussion is really about how we're seeing our customers leverage the data sources on AWS Data Exchange to build more customer-oriented applications, and how AWS Data Exchange and AWS more broadly is the orchestration layer enabling this capability. And so the key outcomes that our customers, like many in here, want to power are improve your customer acquisition, retention, engagement, power more loyalty and satisfaction across your customer base, and leverage external data sources to do all of that. The common types of third-party data sources we're seeing, in particular relating to powering better, whether it's products and services for consumers or web or mobile app experiences for consumers, are demographics data, transactional data, viewership and usage data, and location data. I think in the first session, it was mentioned that demographics data and the need to improve your first-party data strategy is ever more important, particularly with the deprecation of online identifiers, and we're seeing customers across the board invest heavily in enriching their understanding of their own customers with demographics data. I think the stat that was thrown out earlier today was customers are going from 9 data feeds related to enrichment to 12 plus. We met with 2 customers in the last month that told us figures closer to 75 to 80 plus data sources to enrich their first-party data. So that just shows the magnitude of how enterprises are trying to be more first-party data rich. The second is transactional data. Transactional data typically has been viewed in very aggregated views for customers, but we're seeing new data sources that are available at the brand and merchant level, category level, and over greater time periods, as well as at greater granularities down to the zip code as well. And so this is a really informative data source for customers to understand how is consumer spend evolving, and how should I be adjusting my pricing and promotion strategies accordingly. The third is viewership and usage data. So how can you measure consumer sentiment and engagement with your brand based on how they interact with the features and products and in-app experiences of your application? This is a key ingredient for customers, and a unique way to measure things like market segment share based on monthly active downloads or users on your app versus another app, and how you're comparing and how you can capture more of the market based on app experiences and that you're powering, and what you should be building. And the last but not least is location data. So customers and enterprises want to power hyper-local experiences for their end consumers. And they also want to understand their consumers at a hyper-local level. And so location data is becoming increasingly more important for customers in order to do so. And we see these 4 data sources come together, and again with the slides, this is probably more helpful now. But we see these data sources come together to help our customers power those in-app experiences. And I'm going to bring to life one particular example, which is using third-party data to deliver a mobile app. And the example we're going to use is a much more simplified example of a food delivery app looking to expand in a new market. But it's a common use case that customers come to us for, which is, I'm a global restaurant brand, I'm a global bank, and I'm looking to identify the next set of markets we want to expand our offerings to. And so the first thing those customers need is demographics data. Demographics data, let's see if I get the slide order right this time. This is the problem with animated slides. Demographics data is a key ingredient for you to understand your prospect universe. Before I can even set out and determine what's the right market segment to target, we need to figure out what consumers live in that market segment, right? And how does that compare back to my first-party data? Because if I have access to really rich demographics data, say from an Inventor, I can use that and compare it to my first-party data and do things like lookalike modeling to find out how are the attributes of my best customers compared to the attributes of this demographic in this geo that I'm looking to expand in. The next would be consumer spend. You definitely want to better understand how are customers spending on different categories of, for a food delivery brand, different categories of food and services across the geo, and how can that inform and impact how you price and promote to them. The third being that viewership and usage data. If there are other players that got to this market segment before you did, you definitely want to be able to understand how your activities compares to theirs. And last but not least, location data. As a consumer-facing application, you always want to have the most up-to-date location data available. You never want to be in a situation where the types of interest, point of interest data or attributes related to commercial locations are inaccurate or don't reflect what is actually available. As an example, for Mother's Day, I ordered through a ride-sharing app, and I'm going to reveal the company. I used a ride-sharing app to get to a location to buy a gift for my mom. The store that I went to was non-existent. It was a pop-up from 2019, but the point of interest still stayed on that ride-hailing app's application. And so now every time I use that app, I'm always a little bit suspicious of whether I'm going to end up at an actual location or it's going to be the same experience again. And that's why these data sources are so important, because if you go back to the initial slide we shared, all of this really informs how you're acquiring customers, but then also how you're retaining and engaging them over time. And so what role does AWS play in powering these experiences? We orchestrate the entire end-to-end experience of going out and sourcing and storing that data on AWS and then using it alongside existing tools and services that we've built. And you can think of these in 2 buckets. We've got a number of data prep, querying, and analysis tools, but we've also got purpose-built machine learning capabilities as well. And with AWS Data Exchange, we're piping that data directly into these other tools that help you get to those end outcomes faster. And to close off, just to give you a sense of the types of diverse selection of data providers and products available in the service today, these are just some examples that we touched on today. But if you're a data provider, we'd love to have your data available on the service. If you're a data consumer, we'd love to have conversations with you about how we can streamline your access to data. And if you're a partner, we'd love to see how we can support both data providers and subscribers together. Thank you.